What's up, YouTube? Back at it again with another banger video. Last issue, when we left off, Etrigan the Demon had made his return, and Starfire and Light Ray had located the bomb on Ran, but had not found the entity. The entity made its way down that dark corridor. It beat up Adam Strange in the process and escaped through that air vent. So picking up where we left off, Light Ray volunteers to go out and find this entity in this facility that they're at, and Starfire says that she'll stay back and look after Adam Strange since he's, been beaten up. And as soon as Light Ray takes off, of course, we see this goo start to ooze out near Starfire. She bends down and dips her finger in it, not noticing that behind her, this sentient goo slime trail has picked up this machine right behind her. She makes a remark that it smells like gasoline or some other kind of petrochemical, and that comes back later in the story. So it slams her with that big machine, and we cut to Thanagar, the Hawk People world, where Superman and Orion are staking out the city and planning their entryway. So Orion just wants to rush him headstrong and rush into battle. Superman decides that a more sneaky approach would be better. So he starts to spin and he burrows his way into the ground. And he's going to dig a tunnel into the city. And Orion, he's a diversion. So he's just supposed to, distract the guards while Superman does this. Back in Ran, Light Ray, he's searching the facility. He switches over to his electromagnetic spectrum vision, which I didn't know Light Ray could do. I'm not sure he ever did that back in the old comics, but he does it here. He follows this trail. It leads back to where the bomb is, and he sees Starfire's knocked out, and he gets hit with the same thing, the same piece of machinery. He falls down, he drops the catcher device, and it gets crushed by another piece of machinery that just gets thrown on top of it. And this big goo monster is there. Meanwhile, we cut back to Thanagar. Superman has dug his way underground into the sewer system beneath this facility. And he remarks that Orion is covering up the sounds of him digging a tunnel by fighting all these guards. Superman, he uses his X-ray vision. He sees the bomb. He goes down to find it. There's this robot guard there. And he has to fight the guard. And it cuts back and forth between Light Ray fighting the goo monster and Superman fighting the robot guard. So we see Superman, Light Ray, Superman, Light Ray. It cuts back and forth during this fight. Starfire, she wakes back up. We cut back to Superman. We see the timer on the bomb, 95 seconds. Starfire, she takes Adam Strange to safety. She picks up Light Ray, takes him off. Once she has them in a safe distance, then she confronts the monster. The entity, I should say. It tries the same trick again of throwing machines at her. It doesn't work. I didn't realize this before, but this is a long fight scene. Superman still fighting the robot. Starfire, she's fighting the slime creature. It's dodging her laser blasts. We cut back to Earth. This is in Moose Jaw, Arizona. Now that's where the Batman had tracked the shipments of these exotic orders to the policeman who had died. And this is our first time seeing the Batmobile, I think, in this whole book. And I'm not sure we see it again. This may be the only time we see it. Forager suggests that maybe the Aspect is using Joe Besser, that's the policeman's body. Maybe he's using that as his host. But Batman remembers that in the beginning of the story, he fought the Parademon that had gotten stranded in Gotham. And he says, if I was that Aspect, I would choose the Parademon's body. And that's exactly what it's done. Back to Superman on Thanagar. He's fighting this giant robot guard. He finally, beats it into submission, pulls out this catcher gun, zaps him with it, and I think that's the only time one of these catcher guns is actually used. We'll have to see. I know up until this point, this is the first time it's been used to any effect. These things break pretty easily. And then Superman uses his heat vision to melt the bomb. And he flies out of there. We cut back to New Genesis. Darkseid, Highfather, and Etrigan are talking about the risks of their backup plan, and how it's all coming down to Batman and Forager. The weight of the entire universe is on their shoulders. Is it wise to trust the two guys who don't have any superpowers to protect the universe? Maybe they should go through with it. And we see the hand of someone off screen, this yellow glove. And they claim to be a friend of Batman's. This is the person that he called back in issue 2. But we don't see who it is yet. Lightray is waking up from being knocked unconscious. Adam Strange is still there. He might actually be a brain damage. Like, he has not gotten up in a long time. Starfire is being picked up by the slime monster. There's only 14 seconds left on the Doomsday Bomb. We cut back to Thanagar. Superman bursts out of the ground, back to the surface, and he sees that there has been a huge battle while he was under there. And Orion has killed all these Thanagarians who were just being brainwashed, who were just being mind-controlled. They weren't actually evil. And I think Orion gets off very lightly in this book. I mean, this is like a massacre. And Superman punches him once. He gets angry with him, hits him once. Orion, he's like, I don't know, I don't understand how you've lasted so long. Because he's basically calling Superman soft. And he goes back to New Genesis and he's like, are you coming? And Superman says, no, I'm going to stay here. They're dead to be buried. So he stays behind to bury the Thanagarians. It cuts back to Lightray. And Starfire, she's being held upside down by this slime monster. Also, I noticed they're spelling Corey with a K here. Earlier in the story, I think they spelled it with a C in one instance. There's a couple instances of mistakes with the lettering in this book. I won't point them all out, but they're definitely here if you're a close reader. Like I spotted earlier the tail of one of the balloons going to the wrong character. And that sort of takes you out of the reading experience. It can make it confusing. But I don't think it hurts the book overall. So we get down to 3 seconds. Lightray, he's going to hit it with a bolt of light. But Starfire bursts away. She says, no, get out of here. 2 seconds. She tackles Lightray out of the way. There's a huge explosion, and it looks like the bomb is going off. But not really. They're still alive. So what happened was Starfire was able to light this slime monster with her fire. Because it was made of a gasoline, petrol mix, it was flammable. So she blew it up, and the explosion of the entity destroyed the bomb. Convenient, I know. They say goodbye to Adam Strange. They see the entity it's making a getaway. It survived. It escapes. So they decide to just radio back into New Genesis. Darkseid is discussing their backup plan with Etrigan. Again, he restates that it's all come down to Batman and Forager. And he tells Etrigan that they can't allow the possibility of Batman and Forager losing. It's up to them. They have to go through with this backup plan that Darkseid has. We cut back to Earth. We see Forager and Batman they have waited till nightfall to make their move. Now they're moving in on the Moose Jaw base. Back on New Genesis, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Orion come through the boom tube. They're back home. John Stewart, at least Green Lantern is remorseful. At least he feels bad because he was a jerk earlier in the book. Orion shows no remorse whatsoever for this massacre he just committed. Yeah, at least Green Lantern, you know, he has heroic qualities, even if he is a bit too full of himself. Highfather has taken time to consider the conversation he had earlier in the issue with Darkseid and Etrigan, and he's finally made up his mind. He tells Orion that Darkseid proposes a dangerous solution to our problem, but have decided we dare not go along with his mad scheme. But he's too late. He's waited too long. Darkseid has convinced Etrigan they're going through with his plan. He's strapped on this new equipment, and he's tied Etrigan to him as well. You know, he's siphoning off his mystic powers. And the issue ends. They crossed over into the anti-life dimension. And that's where we'll call it for today. We'll come back next part to see the epic conclusion of Cosmic Odyssey. Thank you for watching. Bye.